Title: Blood Gold, setting a remote mining town in the American Wild West 1870s. The town San Diablo is isolated and teetering on the edge of collapse, known for its booming but dangerous gold rush. Fortune seekers, outlaws, and opportunists fill the dusty streets, each consumed by greed and paranoia as they pursue untold riches. Plot overview: Blood Gold follows Jonah Graves, a seasoned bounty hunter with a dark past. He rides into San Diablo in search of a notorious gang of masked outlaws responsible for robbing and killing gold miners across the West. Jonah's mission for justice turns into something more sinister when he learns that the gang isn't just after gold. They're chasing a legendary vein of ore hidden deep beneath the desert, said to bring unimaginable fortune but cursed to drive men mad. Jonah's search draws him into the chaotic, crumbling town of San Diablo, life where law is fleeting and the citizens' desperation is palpable. Amid the shadows of saloons and the dust of the mines, violent murders begin to plague the town. Each body is left in a grim fashion, as if marked by a message or warning. Jonah soon discovers that the killers he seeks may not be the only ones driven to extremes by their thirst for wealth. Key characters: Jonah Graves, a hardened bounty hunter, scarred by loss. Haunted by his past, he is determined to bring justice to the lawless, but his single-minded focus starts to unravel as he encounters the town's cursed gold and its effects on those around him. A crazed old prospector who's lived in San Diablo longer than anyone. He rants about the cursed vein that runs beneath the town and is the only one who knows its location. His obsession with the treasure has made him paranoid and dangerous. Sheriff Amos Whitfield, a once proud lawman now broken by the town's descent into chaos. He's in too deep with the gang, turning a blind eye to the violence in exchange for a cut of the treasure. Dahlia Black, the sharp-witted owner of the local saloon who uses her influence to manipulate those seeking the gold. She has her own hidden motives, and her loyalty shifts with the highest bidder. Themes: greed and madness. The pursuit of gold becomes an allegory for self-destruction. As more people chase after the hidden treasure, they fall into madness, consumed by greed and distrust. Obsession. Each character's obsession with wealth and power drives them to the edge, blurring the lines between right and wrong. Jonah, too, must grapple with how far he is willing to go to achieve his goals. Isolation. Set against the vast, unforgiving desert, the story explores how isolation, both physical and mental, can drive people to extreme behavior. San Diablo is a town cut off from the rest of the world where the rules of civilization no longer apply. Visual style: the film's aesthetic is gritty and raw, with sweeping shots of the barren desert juxtaposed against the claustrophobic, shadowy interiors of saloons, mines, and shacks. The sun-scorched landscape mirrors the harshness of the characters' lives, while nighttime scenes are bathed in dim, flickering lantern light, creating a tense, uneasy atmosphere. The violence, while intense, is stylized without being gratuitous. Instead of focusing on graphic gore, the film uses suspense, sharp editing, and moody lighting to evoke fear and tension. The masked gang's murders are more about psychological terror, as each victim is found with a symbolic mark that hints at their desperation and greed. Climax. In the final act, Jonah tracks the masked gang to a hidden mine deep in the desert. As he descends into the heart of the mountain, he finds the vein of gold that has driven the town mad. The walls of the mine glitter with gold, but the atmosphere is oppressive, as if the earth itself is suffocating those inside. A final, intense standoff unfolds between Jonah, Ezra, who has followed him in pursuit of the treasure, and the gang. In the confined, unstable tunnels of the mine, greed pushes everyone to their breaking point. Ezra tries to take the gold for himself, but the tunnels begin to collapse, and the characters must make a choice: escape with their lives or risk everything for the cursed treasure. Jonah, though tempted by the gold, ultimately chooses to destroy the mine and bury the cursed vein for good. In an explosive, chaotic sequence, he sets off a chain reaction that causes the mine to implode. As the dust settles, Jonah emerges from the wreckage, bruised but alive, leaving behind the buried greed of San Diablo. Final scene. The film ends with Jonah riding away from the ruins of San Diablo, the cursed town now nothing more than a memory. The camera lingers on the barren desert, where a small, half-buried gold nugget glints in the sunlight. suggesting that the curse and the greed that comes with it may never truly be gone. Tone and atmosphere. Blood Gold is a gritty, psychological Western that explores the dark side of human nature. Its tense atmosphere is built on paranoia and desperation, where the lust for wealth pushes people to their limits. The film embraces the moody, visually striking elements of classic giallo horror, but without relying on extreme violence, focusing instead on suspense, character driven tension, and the psychological breakdown caused by greed.